Greetings from the Diller College. I hope you're having a good summer. Thought you might be interested in what we're up to this summer. Actually, I'm just being a little bit silly. I'm hiding in my office with the door closed so I don't have to have my mask on. But I did think you'd be interested in what's happening. We started the summer with some excellent news. The top academic award at Midwestern State is the Hardin Scholar Award. It's given to the student who's the top student entering their senior year. And a Dillard student, Ms. Amanda Threlkeld, won that award. What was particularly cool about that, beyond the fact she was a Dillard student, is that she actually won the Clark Award, which is the top award for the up and coming junior last year. In my time at Midwestern, I'm not aware of a student who's gone from winning the Clark Award to winning the Hardin Award, and so that's really cool. Speaking of the Clark Award, another Dillard student, Mr. Montez Martinez, won that. And again, until I became the dean, I didn't track these things that carefully, but to my knowledge, that's the first time since I've been here that students from the same college have won both awards. Certainly the first time since I've been here that we have had two students from the Dillard College win those awards. So big deal. But wait, there's more. Montez Martinez was also named by the governor as the student regent for the next year. So that young man has had a very accomplished spring semester, and we're very proud of him. In my last video, I told you that enrollment is so important to us, so let me give you an update. Summer 1 turned out excellent for us. We were actually up about 10%. We're just now beginning the Summer 2 term, so enrollment numbers kind of go up and down with last-minute drops and last-minute adds, but entering this turbulent period, so to speak, we were flat. And in this environment, I consider flat to be a great success. How's the fall looking? Basically on track with how it looked a year ago. And so we've got our fingers crossed, hoping that things don't change any of that. We do have to recognize that the big external environment hasn't done us any favors the past week or two. We were benefiting from a time from the perception that Wichita Falls was kind of a haven amidst a coronavirus world. And with all the spike in cases locally, that has kind of eroded that particular advantage. And so I hope that we've lost our complacency as a community and that we're going to get back on top of this. It will certainly help us out, make people feel comfortable about returning to Wichita Falls to resume their college education face-to-face in August. And that's a big deal. And then earlier this week, as you know, the Trump administration announced a new interpretation or an application of the visa principles. And what it says is if an international student's university goes all online or is all online, then those students will not be given visas to enter the country. And in theory, they're supposed to exit the country. Very importantly, that in theory has nothing to do with Midwestern State because we have not said that we're going online. We've done quite the opposite. We've said that we are going to launch face-to-face in the fall, and we're adamant about that, and we're planning very hard to make that happen. There are some large systems. I believe the Cal State system has said they're going to be online only in the fall. And so this would directly affect them and say to all their international students, you're not allowed to enter the United States. In fact, the director of ICE said today in an interview that part of the reason for this announcement was to try to prod schools to stick with the face-to-face instruction. We were already there. Again, we were already there. That's what we're doing. But what it does at a time when a lot of our students are already uneasy with events that have happened this spring, with the unrest in the United States and the virus, this is just another element of uncertainty. I had one of our brightest, shiniest, smartest international students come into my office yesterday and say, does this mean I'm going to have to go home? I'm like, no, what are you thinking? First of all, we're not online, we're face-to-face. Second, our plan is to retrograde at worst. We hope to hybrid, and that's still inside the guidance. And why would you even think this? But what that tells me is if a young man that smart and connected can worry about this, there are a lot of other students that are worrying about the same thing. So at this point, we've created a lot of plans, and now we have to, or I want to tell you about those plans because we are planning to make a return to face-to-face instruction as safe as it can be in the COVID era. Two of the most central principles are wearing of masks and social distancing. How that applies in the Dillard building is we've gone into all the classrooms and spaced out all of our chairs to create 6 feet of separation. Importantly, what that does is it reduces the capacity in every classroom. Most of you are familiar with DB 101. That normally seats 140 students. With 6 foot separation, it's 88. No problem there because we don't have any classes bigger than that. However, I only have 3 classrooms that can accommodate 37 students with social distancing, and the rest are 30 or less. Our average class size is about 32 or 33. So what I've spent the summer doing is re-rooming classes, if you will, in some cases changing course caps to keep them just underneath the classroom limit for the classroom they're in, adding a section or two in some high demand courses where we've had to lower the course caps. Bottom line is I think I've got all that done and all that solved, and everybody has a home that works for them, but it was a lot of work to get there. So that's step 1, to get us ready to social distance. Step 2 is to have a cleaning plan. They're still working on that exactly, but our goal is going to be to wipe down the tables in the classrooms in between each and every class so that students can have confidence that the space that they're occupying is clean. Another key part of it is using technology to give us flexibility. The university's already purchased Zoom licenses so that every faculty member is going to have unlimited access to Zoom, so that we're going to basically use the Zoom technology and a much higher quality camera in the classroom, not a webcam, but a real camera, to make it possible to live stream every class. Here's why that's so important. Let's say a student wakes up one day and has the sniffles. We don't want them coming to class. No problem. Just log into the live stream and attend class that way. Let's say a student gets exposed to someone who has the virus. No problem. While you're self-isolating for 14 days, you just attend your classes through Zoom. Let's say a professor wakes up one day and has the sniffles. No problem. They go to their office, use the webcam just like I have on my computer, and transmit themselves into the classroom. And with Zoom, you can have a lot of interaction with the students. You can see people's faces. You can understand whether they're understanding or not. So we intend to leverage all these technology tools to give us flexibility, to include, let's say the virus gets worse in the fall and we decide we need to go to 9 foot social distancing, and that lowers the capacity in the classrooms even further. Well, we could implement a system and we would let the professors decide how they wanted to handle each of their courses. Could say, for example, if your last name begins with an A through an L, you attend class face-to-face on Tuesday, and on Thursday you attend the live stream. And if your last name starts with M to Z, we flip that. You live stream on Tuesday and you attend face-to-face on Thursday. So the technology is going to give us a lot of flexibility. While we're doing all this outreach to students, part of the important thing is to convince the students and the parents that we have a plan, that we're ready to respond, and that we've thought through this. And I think we have. We've already begun to communicate that with students. Dr. Shipley has put out some videos. I did a social media release to the Dillard students. I have no idea how many watch it, where I take them into the classroom and show them how the chairs are spaced out. I'll be reaching out to all the existing students or the current enrolled students later this month saying, hey, here's the plan. Go to this website and check out for more details, but to make them comfortable. Likewise, I'll reach out again. I've already reached out once to the incoming students. I'll touch them again with that same message. My goal is to use the communication strategy to ramp up the enthusiasm for the return to face-to-face instruction in the fall. So that's what's happening. If you have any questions or comments, by all means, reach out to me. You've got my cell phone, my email, my office phone, whatever. You know that you can get a hold of me, and I want to hear from you. And I want to close by thanking you at a time when so many of your backs are up against the wall working hard in your business, to thank you for what you do for the Dillard College. You are the tie for the college to the business community. You provide us great insight and advice. You provide us key connections where we're able to get things like great internships for our students. You help us recruit, and then very importantly, you help our students find jobs when they graduate. These are all essential tasks, and I truly do appreciate what you do. Good luck.